What's up, guys, and welcome to the South Coast. It is actually a little bit cool Saturday morning here on the South Coast, but I've got a problem with the Bermuda. Come check it out. Let's see what we're going to do about it. All right, guys, so as you know, if you've watched any of my Bermuda videos on the channel before, I don't have the best Bermuda lawn. I'm still fighting all this field grass out here, trying to get the lawn leveled, all that sort of stuff, using a rotary mower on it. But the problem I've run into recently is that I've been unable to cut the grass for over a week. I was cutting it twice a week, once in the middle of the week and once on the weekends, but I have been unable to maintain that cutting schedule. So the grass is a lot taller than it usually is, or than it has been. So my problem is, how do I cut it now? I think what I'm going to do today is bump the mower up a couple of notches so I'm not taking off a ton of material. Basically just trying to stay in that 1/3 rule for the Bermuda. You're supposed to only cut off 1/3 of its overall length as to not really damage it. So I'm going to bump up the mower a couple notches. We'll get it mowed, see how it looks. We are getting towards the end of growing season for the Bermuda. Like I said, this morning is a cool morning, probably in the low 70s, upper 60s, which is cool here on the South Coast. So we'll cut it at a higher height of cut today, see how it looks, and I may maintain that height of cut because due to other stuff going on, I'm not going to be able to keep cutting it twice a week. I might have to drop down to once a week at the most. So we get the mower out, we're going to cut it. It's going to look pretty bad just because of how wet the grass is. It's going to be sticky, clumpy, not going to get as much in the bagger as I usually do when it's nice and dry, but we're going to get it done, see how it turns out. So let's get to cutting. All right, so we got the mower set up one notch up from where I usually cut. To be honest, in this little area right here, I'm not expecting to really take much off. This area is sort of shielded from the sun by this lemongrass on the side and the house on the other side. So not a ton of growth has been happening here. Really the whole front side of the house, I could probably cut at my normal mowing height. The back side's really where it's gotten thicker. So I'm gonna go through here, see what it looks like. If I'm not taking anything off, then I'll drop it back down to my normal cut height. We'll cut the front at the normal height, and then when we go around to the back, we'll cut the back at the raised cut height. So I'm gonna do a couple passes here, see what it looks like. May need to adjust, but let's see what happens. All right, guys, so just got done mowing. Let's take a walk around the yard, take a look at a few different areas, show you how the raised height of cut mow did, and just sort of compare different areas of the yard. I did do one section, sort of like my little test experimental patch on the other side of the garage. I'll show you that last. I did that section at my normal cut height just to compare the finished quality of the cut between the two cut heights. So let's take a walk around. We'll start here in the front and move on around the house. I'll sort of explain things as we're walking through, show you how we did. All right, guys, so in this front yard, like I said earlier in the video, this section really hasn't grown as fast as the back. So I didn't take much height off when I cut today. One thing to note, sort of out here where the field grass and the Bermuda are sort of interacting with each other, I wish that I would have cut that down at my normal cut height just to knock that field grass down, sort of slow its growth down, but we'll do that another time. But as we sort of come around this way, sort of over here in this corner and around the back, around the side and to the back is really where the growth, really where it grows faster than the rest of the yard, which is odd because this is the north side of the house. But I think just because the morning sun isn't blocked coming this way, sort of this side yard gets sun more or less all throughout the day, and the backyard gets that morning sun. I think that really makes a difference for this yard. So over here, previously I was getting a lot of scalping, a lot of spots where I was getting like those half moon. You can still sort of see them from the last time I cut really low. They haven't fully recovered yet, but see that little half or crescent moon shape right there? I was getting a lot of that stuff over in this corner, primarily because the yard isn't level. My yard really isn't level enough to properly cut real low with the rotary mower, but sort of all I have right now. We'll be doing more leveling next spring. I was going to try to do 2 rounds this year, but could only do the first round in the spring. Sort of ran out of time to do a second round of leveling, but that's neither here nor there. So this area definitely looks better. Not as much scarring showing through right now as it was previously, but this backyard, the back, this is probably the best the back's ever been, which tells me I need to be cutting at the 1 notch up cutting height instead of the lowest notch. I think it really goes back to how level my yard is, or how unlevel it is, I guess. But this isn't the tight, fine grain Bermuda golf course fairway cut, and I'm not going to get that with the rotary mower. I'm sort of coming to realize that I am saving up for a real mower. So you guys watching these videos, sharing these videos, hitting that thumbs up, comments, all that sort of stuff, helping these videos push out to more people, is helping me get a little bit more money to get a real mower. So hopefully by the next cutting season next spring, we'll have something to try out, some real mowing on this yard. So appreciate y'all watching, doing all that stuff. But yeah, this backyard looks way smoother than it usually does when I cut real low. Not near as much scarring or scalping. So I think I probably need to be cutting at this raised cutting height regardless. Let's walk over here. I'll show you the test patch, a little experimentation patch over on the side of the house. So this little patch I cut at my normal low cutting height. You can see a lot more brown poking through, a lot more, not really scalping, but just where it cut off more than the grass wanted me to cut off. So I think you can tell the difference comparing those two cut heights from the rest of the yard to this. Definitely a difference. I think my yard can only support this higher cut height just due to how level it is or unlevel it is and the mower that I have. So that's about it on the walk around. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this video up here. I learned a good bit from this cut. It's been a while since I've tried cutting at a higher cut height. Like I said, I think the current levelness, unlevelness of the yard can only support cutting so low with the rotary mower, and I think the cut height that I use today is that height of cut that I can do without causing more damage to the grass than good. So next few cuts, probably going to go back to cutting once a week, just because I got a bunch of other stuff going on throughout the week now where I'm not going to be able to have the time to cut a middle of the week cut. So we're going back to cutting once a week. We'll keep it at this raised cut height. Hopefully that field grass doesn't get more of a hold and continue to grow into the Bermuda. Hopefully that Bermuda will keep growing out like it has been. So we'll see how things do as this cutting season winds down. Probably got another month or so of good grass growth. It's definitely slowing down, but it's still growing currently. So probably got about a month of growth left before everything starts sort of shutting down for the winter time. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you got any comments for me, drop them down in the comment section. If I'm doing it wrong, please let me know. I'm here to learn from you guys. I'm open to any sort of input you might have for me. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. See how this thing turns out. We'll keep making videos. See if I can get up to getting that real mower for next spring. That's the goal. Hopefully we get there. We'll see. We'll see. But click that subscribe button if you want to see if we get there. So as always, I hope y'all have a good one. We'll catch you next time down here on the South Coast.